Okay, so today I'm going to talk about very easy state management with React. I love this library. It's called Use Global Hook. You may have heard of it. It was created by this guy named Andrei Gardi. And it's basically like a very simple hook to manage your state. And in order to use it, you just grab this npm. It works with React and it only works with functional components. So you want to make sure you've got a React app with functional components only. This won't work any other way. So here we have a little app. My partner created this. I helped them with it. They're in school right now, and so they did this small little project. And in order to manage state easily, I showed my partner how to implement this awesome little global hook that I love. So what this app does, basically, it just gets jokes from an API. You can choose to get 10 jokes, or you can choose to get a joke, just one joke. And if you hit this add button right here, it adds this joke to your set. Using our global hook, it manages that state. So when you click on set, there it is. And you can remove that and it removes it from your global state. I know that a lot of people really like Redux for the reasons of side effects, and I guess I understand that. I personally am not a big fan of Redux. I think it adds a lot of boilerplate to the code. It's really tedious to use, and this is why I am making this video. I love this global state hook, and it's very simple to use and understand, and it's a really good place to start if you are just trying to understand how Redux even works. Reason being is because it uses these actions, which Redux uses as well, and it uses a store. And so I'm going to show you how to implement this. Basically, all you have to do is have your React project set up. I probably should just start from scratch, but since I already have this little application, I was just going to show you guys the code. Basically, you npm install the use global hook into your React project. And the way that you use it is you want to set up a store. And it should look like this. So you should have an initial state. You should be calling the actions, and that's another folder we're going to talk about that you have to set up. And you export it like this. You can even, copy this code. I'm going to put a link in the description. I'll probably put it up for sale just because I make these videos for free. You can either copy the code or just, pay $2 for it. It's the way I make my money online, and it's very helpful when you guys contribute, and I really appreciate you guys. So basically what you do here is you set up your store. Your global hook is right here. You have to import it using use global hook, and you want to copy this code right here verbatim and store it in a folder called store and in a file called index.js. And then you want to have an actions folder as well. And your actions, we're going to talk about these. Right now we have two actions here, one that adds jokes to the set, another one that deletes it from the set. And we're going to talk about how to actually use this within the components. So within this application, we've got, your normal app, your redirects, and your nav bar. And then here you can, choose which page you want to go to, which component you want to see. And so we're going to be messing around with this get material, which is this right here. And it's got these two buttons where you just go ahead and get jokes, get a joke, get 10 jokes, and you can add it to your set, right? And then we're going to mess around with this my set component as well. So in this get material stuff, all right, so the way that you're going to use global state and global actions is like this. You set up your use global from the store, which is the store you set up before, and it's got all your code in there, and you're going to use this hook, right? So the way you use this hook is you have to have this line of code that calls the global state and calls the global actions, and you can set it to use global. Then when you would like to add jokes, for example, so my partner's got this add joke function right here. And so if we go to that add joke function, here it is. They call the global actions and they say add to my set, like call global actions and then call this function, and I'm going to pass it the joke that I'd like to add. So the add to my set, let's see where that is. That's in the actions. And it's going to be right here, add to my set. And this is what the function looks like. It calls the store, it gets the added joke, it stores it within the state, added joke, new joke, and then you want to set the state to see it. So you can also copy this if you'd like to add something to it. And then we've also got a little delete function. And so let's look at that store and see where it's storing it. So here we've got a state, and then you want to go ahead and put whatever you want to store. So she wants to store an array of my jokes, and it's an array. And basically anything, we just act like it's an array in the index here, and we push it into the my jokes array in the state. So store state my jokes, we push that added joke. And then we set the state once again so that it refreshes. So whenever you add now, you know what? I can go ahead and put a console log global state so you guys can see it once it's logged. So here it is. Global actions, add to my set, add joke. And then we're going to go ahead and console.log global state so you guys can see the state now. Let's see if it does it. Get some material. So we're going to get 10 jokes. Boom. And we're going to have to console log every time they do an add. Boom. And look at that. Within the array, we've got a joke. There it is. And then let's say we do another one. Boom. There's another one. Let's say we do another one. Great. So everything is getting stored in this global state. And in order to see that global state, you want to go ahead and log your global state. And that all exists within this little function right here. This global state, global actions, and use global. You're calling those two things to use them. So we're using global actions right here, and we're console logging global state right here. And this is just a phenomenal little tool to use, and it's so simple to implement that I just had to make this video to help you guys out. And you can easily copy the code. You don't have to pay for anything. If you did want the code verbatim, I will put that up so you guys can also go ahead and purchase it for $2. And then we've got here. So now let's say we want to delete a joke, right? We've got the jokes in this my set. Now they're all showing up, as you can see. And the way that we do that is within this my set component. So let's go ahead and open that up. Great. So now, in order to be able to see what's happening and to update something very specifically, whenever my jokes updates, use global state, you have to set the state so that it re-renders every time a joke is added. So that way, whenever you open this, it's completely updated. So this is your code that you want to use within the my set, and you still want to bring in your global state and your global actions as well. So let's say we want to go ahead and remove a joke. So she's got this jokes container. That's where all the jokes sit. But basically when you want to remove a joke, you basically click on that remove function. Boom, boom, boom. And it is using our global hook as well. So it calls our global actions. It calls the function delete from my set, and then it provides the joke. So delete from my set. Let's go ahead and look at that in our actions. Boom. And here is the function right here, delete from my set. And you pass it the store, you pass it the joke you want to delete. And then here it is. You store in your state my jokes. It finds the index of the joke and it removes that index. And then it also updates you. So you want to set the state of the store, and you just want to, I pass it this code so that it automatically re-renders. Sometimes it doesn't do it if you don't pass it this. So I did go ahead and reset that state so that it's re-rendered within the component when we want to see it immediately. So you want to make sure you just add this line or add this set state line so that way your code re-renders. So let's actually see that in action as well. Let's go ahead and go into my set. I'm going to go ahead and console log global state here, shall we? Sorry, guys. Wow. All right, so let's get some new material. We've got 10 jokes here. I'm going to hit this a couple times. Let's add 4 of them. Boom. Now we go into my set, and boom, we've got 4 jokes. And now I want to delete it. So every time I delete this now, global state is going to log here. See that in action? Great, now we've got 3. Okay, so I know when we first started, this set state had this store state my jokes. I just wanted to remove that from the set state because we don't need that within there in order for the state to re-render. We just want the state to re-render, so we do the store.set state after we've done our little function. Within that function, we do a store set state so that the component updates. So we're updating the mySet component every time we delete it. So I want to get 10 jokes. I'm going to go ahead and add them. Every time I add them, the array increases, right? And then we go into mySet. And now let's say I want to delete it. Because I set that state right here, store set state, it just re-renders that component. So it updates our component there. And that's really how you want to manage these functions. You definitely want to call this line at some point. But yeah, that should update your state by just using this little line of code right here. And that's it. And there you have it, folks. So I hope this helps you guys understand state management in React, even if you're using Redux. This is very similar to how Redux works with actions and store. And so this should be a nice little stepping stool before Redux to help you guys kind of understand how that works. I prefer it over Redux. I think Redux will be outdated in the future. So I see this as a future resolution to Redux because nobody likes that much boilerplate code. So if this helped you, please go ahead and subscribe. There will be more content like this in the future. Follow Tone Mash. I will put the links in the description. If you're also a musician and want to learn more about music and more about development, go ahead and subscribe, and we will have plenty of content for you, as well as applications that will help you become a better musician and a better developer overall. So thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next one.